Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's the commish. Back here, of course, with another weekly preview for you. This time in the LOD. And week 4, fourth season, lots to be determined. Let's get right into it. So first off, two worst owners in LOC history collide. Two guys that have been very instrumental to the LOC's success over the last few years for sure. But let's look at their career records. 10-33 for BNL. He announced his outright retirement from the LOC. He has almost a 500 record in the LOC and 10-33 record here in LOD. Sean's 13-30, so 30th career loss. And looking at it, these guys have played twice. They're 1-1 lifetime versus one another. So obviously it's going to be a good one to watch. Looking at what Co predicted here, just give me a minute to boot it up. He has BNL winning this one against him. Whereas I look at my own prediction here, and just give me a moment to find it here. I have, where is it? I got BNL winning this one as well. So we both have BNL winning, and there's probably a number of reasons why we have BNL winning. First off, when you look at Sean's lineup, Brees Hall is still kind of working with carries for Michael Carter. Definitely looked like his role is getting more involved. Positive news for Sean. It looks like Treylon Burks might be getting more involved. Gallup's coming back again. If you watch the LOC previews, though, I don't think he's going to get too much time in the first week here. Kenneth Gainwell's definitely probably been a bit of a disappointment, but you got to look at it. Drake London, Devontae Smith, these guys look like they're getting better week to week. Obviously, having Justin Fields at quarterback is a big weakness for the Shawns. The big things to watch here for Bare Naked Ladies are going to be, is C-Mac a go? And if C-Mac isn't a go, that's definitely going to challenge the points. Julio Jones, I mean, a partially torn PCL just doesn't sound good. I don't think, he probably trying to come back because, let's face it, he's near the end of his career, thought this was it. Probably wants to avoid the surgery, but probably should get the surgery likely. I think it's going to be a challenging week for BNL. I would almost change my pick because I think BNL has a lot of question marks there, but I'm going to stick to BNL winning along with Sean. Next up, Pandian Punch. So we got a matchup here. Robert, the Illuminati, 2-1. He's got 20 career wins. He's 20-23 lifetime. Chris 1-2, 19-24 lifetime. These guys are almost a mirror image of one another, and oddly enough, they're in the same division. So they've already played 7 times, and Chris is 4-3 lifetime at present against the Illuminati. And Robert, looking at this one and my prediction, I got Robert winning this one, and looking at Co's prediction, he's got no more winning this one. So Co and I a fair amount opposite this week with the LSC and LOD previews. Robert made the trade with me to get Baker, and Baker's been better than Brady. And he also got a round 3 in the deal. So obviously Robert knows what he's doing, taking advantage of me in that one. Zeke has to be a concern. It looks like his role is declining slightly. Best thing that can happen to Robert is he goes to another team next year. King Henry, he's recovering from that injury still. I feel for no more. He hasn't been quite as dominant as years past, but I think it will come with time. I think that the teams are fairly evenly matched, and I think this is going to be one of the more exciting games to watch this week. But I definitely think that Jared Goff has a pretty good matchup against Seattle as well for the Illuminati. And I think that'll work out to be the difference. Not looking at per current points after Thursday, I'm sticking with Robert here because of his experience as an LOC member. Week 4, a Ming battle. It's Matt and Bill's Mafia, last year's champion. Started 0-2. He's 1-2, looking to continue his winning ways. This time taking on new owner Mike and cashing my Belichick's at 2-1, who's come in and really just sold most of his assets off to rebuild his team. Which you can respect. Bill's Mafia 26-17 career. This is their first meeting, clearly. because Cashing My Belichick's is a new owner. Co has Cashing My Belichick's to lose this one. I also have Cashing My Belichick's to lose this one. I got the defending champ finding a way to come back from an 0-2 start. Josh Allen's going to put up his points. He's going to continue to do so. And Stafford still is, even though I know everybody knows you're shopping them, or actually you don't have Stafford no more. Sorry about that. I mean, Cooper Rush. Sorry, I forgot you traded Stafford. So actually Cooper Rush will have another game in there for Dak Prescott. So, definitely he will likely do fairly well against Washington. Cashing My Belichick says Geno against Detroit. Detroit, I think, is well coached, watching Hard Knocks. So I think Geno will struggle in that one. And Ryan Tannehill has to head into Indianapolis, just focusing on the quarterback battles between the two teams. I would think that Bills Mafia, just looking at the depth all the way down, is a better team. Isaiah Likely, hopefully, will start getting more involved as a rookie as time goes on. Gabe Davis, he's kind of hit and miss, though, right now for Bills Mafia, and that's kind of tough. And Cashing My Belichick's actually made that great trade with me, getting Noah Brown, Malcolm Rodriguez, who have come in and to be instant starters in his lineup. And also all those picks for a guy who's aging and suspended right now. So that's going to help Cashing My Belichick's right now. So there is definitely a universe where he could upset Bills Mafia, but I don't think it's going to happen this time around. And Matt is going to win this matchup. Next up, we got week 4, opposite directions. Here we go. So Spando and 3, 21 and 22 career. Stewart 2-1, 22 and 21 career. Two teams going in opposite directions. Stewart looks like a winner. Sven looks like a loser. And lifetime matchup, 4th time they're meeting. Stewart owns the matchup right now, 2-1. And looking at who we had picked here for this matchup, I got likely losers winning this one, and Co definitely has likely losers winning this one as well. Dalvin Cook sounds like he's going to be a go. Great news for likely losers. Ramondre Stevenson, people crying for him to be the RB1 in New England. Great news for likely losers. Diggs, CeeDee Lamb is starting to get more involved, which is also great news for likely losers. On the other side, Khalil Herbert's a pleasant surprise, no doubt about that. George Pickens is taking some time to get going, which has been a disappointment for fantasy owners of him. Let's just call it how it is. Likely losers just has a way better team. He's going to win this one. Week 4, full sell. Full sell for Lucas. And we see what happens when teams full sell, 0-3. And definitely not a threat to anyone in the Solomonic or the LOD, really. Subotica Spartans, Dushan, we know he's always fairly competitive. He's 1-2 start, 2 losses to a divisional opponent, Adrian and Orange Crush. 24-19 lifetime for Dushan, 20-23 for Lucas. This is only their second meeting. Dushan is 1-0 versus Lucas. And looking at who Co and I are predicting to win, Co picked Subotica Spartans to win this one, and myself also going with Subotica Spartans. And it's easy to see why. It's a bit of full sell for Lucas. He's got Mike Davis, Ty Johnson, and Eno Benjamin as his top 3 running backs. That's not going to get it done at all. You look at his top receivers, Josh Palmer definitely has a future, but when you look at the rest of the wide receiver core, I mean, Robbie Anderson, Juwan Jennings, Khalif Raymond, it's just not even a threat right now. I know for Subotica Spartans, he's got to be disappointed like all Darnell Mooney fantasy owners with how he's underperformed to start the year. That offense just is going to need, I guess, another year of the draft to just try to get better. So I definitely see that being a problem. Of course, Bull Dupp is the one that got Matt Stafford for from Bills Mafia, and that should help him definitely be a lot more competitive. But even the trade itself, I was confused because he has Trey Lance on the IR. So unless he's planning on trading one of those guys in the offseason, it should be interesting to see how it all shapes out. But I got Dushan and Subotica Spartans in this one. Next up, 2 best owners in history collide. two original owners, Chris and Vlad Jr. crew, 1 and 2 this year, struggling. Myself 2 and 1. The loss last week, the Deuce Bombers. The career records: Chris 28 and 15, myself 29 and 14. Looking for my 30th career win and the first to get to 30 in the LOD. We've played twice before. This series is tied 1-1. Looking at who I am predicting to win, I got myself predicted to win, and Co also predicted myself to win against Vlad Jr. crew. So Vlad Jr. crew again, kind of like bolt ups, looking at just making a reset on his LOD roster. And, you know, I get it. I mean, the resets have got to be fun too, getting all those picks. I'm sure it's exciting to have all those picks. And Chris, I know, is definitely smart enough to turn his team around in a hurry. One of the guys I got off Chris, though, in the offseason, Cooper Cup, and he's just downright electric. And I think he's going to be one of the guys that'll be the difference playing on Monday night against San Francisco. Nick Chubb leads the league in rushing yards for me. Gotta love it. So that's great to see. Cordero Patterson, though, definitely never saw him being in the top 3 for most people. And Vlad Jr. Cruz got him on the other side. So that's definitely got to be, you know, something he's happy about. The quarterback matchup, I mean, Daniel Jones and Davis Mills for Chris and Vlad Jr. Cruz. So a great time for me to only have the one quarterback playing a team that really, you know, both those quarterbacks really aren't that scary. Looking on the other side, I got Brady. He's done nothing so far, but let's face it, my team's just better. Chris is on a reset. No sense talking more about this one. Next up, first in Yamato on the line. Orange Crush 3-0, Adrian. Knights of Redemption, Milan 2-1. Milan, an original owner, but has struggled here in the LOD, 17 and 26 lifetime. You can see Adrian right there with True North at 28 and 15, right on my back. 5 matchups already have been played between these two teams. Adrian 3 and 2 lifetime. And why first would be on the line? This is their first meeting this year, and divisional opponents, the first of 2. And right now, what I can tell you, looking at Knights of Redemption's lineup at present, he's got Dak out, and he also has Jameis Winston out. It's a literal disaster for Knights of Redemption. And, you know, what a good time for Adrian and Orange Crush for that to happen, because let's face it, we all saw the scary scenes with Tua. He put up minus 0.4 for Adrian, but now with Dak out and with Jameis out, Knights of Redemption almost has no hope of winning this one. Co does have Knights of Redemption winning this one as his original pick. I have Adrian and Orange Crush winning this one. I think Adrian will continue to go undefeated in this divisional matchup, and he's really going to take a stranglehold in that division early on here this year with the win, I feel. Even with the not so great results on Thursday with his Miami players, and I know he is a Dolphins fan. T. Higgins putting up 30 flat for Milan on the other side. I still think Adrian wins this one because of the just dreadful news at quarterback for Milan, and you just can't recover from that. Really, there's not even much else to talk about unless Saquon Barkley goes off for 50, Kenneth Walker gets all the snaps, but even he's got Chris Godwin in the lineup, who, let's face it, I mean, he's been injury riddled here in recent history as well. So I think it's Adrian for sure going 4-0. Next up, Battle of the Undefeated. And this will be your game of the week, and it's going to be a thriller. Deuce Bombers, I almost consider him an original owner in the LOC. He came in the second year and instantly started to be a contender, made the finals that year, and then won the league the very next year in the LOC. Susie, you guys all know who she is. She is and has the most career wins in the LOC as my significant other, and beautiful lady, I might add. 3-0, doing great. But Deuce, new to the LOD, he's 3-0 career, and he's not looking to experience his first loss anytime soon. And what everybody I know will be watching this one. Susie, 23 and 20 lifetime. Last year, she beat me in round 1 in the playoffs. I'm still bitter about it. Her team sucked. She beat me by like 0.2 or something crazy. And yeah, of course, she never did much after that. And my team probably would have done much better. Clearly, it's their first meeting here in the LOD, but these guys do have a rich history playing each other in the LOC. I originally had Deuce to win this one, and I'm going to stick with it. Cole originally had Zebras to win this one. And this could be actually a pretty good pick by Cole right now after Thursday. I'm not letting it influence my decision, but right now, Sleeper does have Zebras to win this one. And the reason for it right now is because at present, Deuce Bombers has Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift in the lineup. And both those guys are out. And that's going to create some major problems here for Deuce Bombers and might actually open up the door for Zebras to pull off an upset. I am going to stick with my Deuce Bomber pick just because I said I wouldn't let Thursday influence things, and we wouldn't have known this news before that prediction. Zebras has Lamar. Let's face it, Lamar's going for the big money. Looking at what happened with Tua, would Lamar be an amazing fit in Miami? I mean, that offense would have so much speed. It would be electric. Zebras, of course, got screwed over in the Jimmy G waiver wire ad. She's been pretty good about it, I'll be honest. I wouldn't have been, but that's how the rules go. Obviously, Hurts and Rogers on the other side for Deuce Bombers. That's almost even Steven, if you think about it, in that matchup. And I think Green Bay should kind of do fairly well against Mac Jones-less team this week and going with Hoyer. But the injuries, I think the Deuce are going to be a major factor in this one. The other thing working out for Susie is the fact that Hunter Renfro is out. So Mac Hollins, I think, put up 28 last week. We'll look to continue that. And they are playing Denver. And I think that the Raiders, even though they're 1-2, look like a better team than Denver still, from what I've seen with Russell Wilson. Romeo Dobbs sounds like he's becoming the WR1 in Green Bay. So here's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers goes off, well, maybe those throws are going to Romeo Dobbs, which would be great news for Susie. And the other thing is you always got to love those double dip matchups. She's got Lamar and Bateman. I know they've had a couple of big plays this year. I think it's going to be an awesome one to watch. I'm excited for it, and I'm sure all of you are as well. All right. Well, that does it for your weekly previews this week. I'm glad you joined us and looking forward to the next one.